Right, rock and roll. Now, so all about blogging today. Well, thank you very much for joining. I'm going to share the screen. Hopefully you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Everybody see that? Yeah, it's okay. Right, we're in business. Just now, some familiar faces. We're all a year older. Yes, yes. Today's all about, I must confess, I'm a bit nervous today. First webinar of the year. Yeah. Last time I was as nervous as this. I was in a queue. I said in a loud voice, gosh, you could cut the tension with a knife. And the ski lift operator said to me, please don't. So anyway, this morning, I like to support local retailers. So I went down to the butcher's shop, and a bit of a character actually, our local butcher is. And he said to me, he said, Simon, I bet you £10 you can't reach the meat up there. I said, I don't think I can take that bet. The stakes are too high. Right, we're going to move on, really. Actually, I just say that I was out in the garden this morning. I saw the local neighbour. He was out mowing the lawn, and he was slumped over his lawnmower. And I said to his wife, is he okay? He said, no, he's just going through a rough patch. Right, let's have this tomfoolery. We must move on. You know what? For those of you who are new to the world of my webinars, we follow a traditional pattern. We have some contrived jokes at the start. We've got those out of the way. The next bit is we have a quiz. And and then we get on to the main event. But as always, it has been recorded. Please feel free to use the chat line, and if you wish to engage in social media, you're most welcome. There are the Twitter handle and the Grow My SME. But pens at the ready. We're going to have a little quiz. What's the quiz about? Oh, I don't know. Let's have a think. Let's have a. It's name the famous person. Name the famous person. So please feel free to get on the chat line. Yes. Sal's on it already. Yeah. Who is that? Today's famous. These are all entrepreneurs. That's in case clear. They're all entrepreneurs. I think you've all got it. That gentleman. Yeah. Steve, the late lamented Steve Jobs. Yeah. Who's that then? We're going to keep up a digital theme. Who's that? Which famous marketing entrepreneur is that gentleman? Who's on the chat line? Oh, yeah, Sal's on it again. They're too easy, aren't they? I make them too easy. Yeah. I'm sorry, Kevin. Facebook bloke. Half a point. Yes, Mark Zuckerberg. So who's up now? Not easy. I told you not easy. Yes. Who's that? Who's that famous late lamented entrepreneur? Silence. Who's that? Anybody know who that might be? On the chat line, have we got that one? Oh, right. Well, let's move on. That Anita Roddick, the founder of The Body Shop. What many perceive to be the great green business, going and sourcing products ethically. And gosh, how things have moved on in the last number of years. Oh, who's up next? Famous entrepreneur. Yeah, Claire and Sal got that one. Yes, it is. It is indeed. You can't catch her out, Sal. She'd be a bit legend on the old quizzes. It is indeed. None other than William Gates. Right, who's up next on the list? Who's up next? Oh, look. Well, you're right. You're not going to get 100% today. Because who's this? Which famous entrepreneur from the 19th century is that? Aha! Try and be a bit current these days. I'm going to take us there. Any takers for who that might be? It's a little esoteric, that one, but we don't mind. No takers for who that is? Oh, we've got one. We've got to take one taker. Yeah, I'm sorry. You can't say the one in the new TV series. Now, half a point. That is the Duke of Hastings from Bridgerton. Yeah, I thought I'd just show myself to be a little bit current today. Who's that then? This is one of my idols here. Who's that? Oh, there was a clue, you know, in that that little line he gave. A clue. Anyone know who that is? Famous entrepreneur. Well, maybe not so famous, but you'll see a bit. You know, this is always designed so nobody gets them all right. That is the founder of Pop Idol, Donny Osmond. Honestly, Andrea, Donny Osmond. Paper Roses. I used to like Marie Osmond. You know, she was one of my pin-ups. Anyway, Simon Fuller, in partnership with Simon Cowell, founded Pop Idol, no less. There we go. Let's move on. Aha, number 5 here. Who's that? Do you know, there was a clue there. There was a clue. There was a clue in that one. Who is that on today's famous entrepreneurs? No takers? Oh, Andrea. Yes. There was. Did you get that because of the clue, or you just a bit clever? It is indeed Coco Chanel. Yeah. There we go. And who's that then? If you get this one, I'm going to be suitably impressed. Who is that very famous and very wealthy entrepreneur? Whom is that? Whom is that? Yes, Larry Page, none other than Larry Page. I didn't get that. The co-founder of Google. There we go. Larry. Right, move on. Oh, I think we're the last. Who's that then? Come on. Famous entrepreneur, seen on the telly, both in the EU here and in the United States. Who's that? Who have we got? I'm guessing that. Come on, Sal. Got a bit more than Dragon's Den. Got a bit more than Dragon's Den. But you're right. As seen on Dragon's Den, none of them. Yes, Claire's got it. None of them. Gerald Ratner. Who said Gerald Ratner? That is one of them. Peter Jones. There we go. Last few. Who's that? Come on, easy ones now. Get easier by the minute. What's this got to do with blogging? Anyone's thinking. Oh, I don't know. What's it got to do with blogging? It is Oprah. Yes, Fiona. Yeah, Oprah. And right, famous bloggers. Last few famous bloggers. We're getting to subject matter. This is just a little aperitif. Famous bloggers. Who's that then? A very famous blogger. Famous blogger. Who is that? You've heard her surname. Any takers before we move on? Got a lot to do today. That is Arianna Huffington of the Huffington Post. Great entrepreneurial story there. Made loads and loads and loads of dosh from blogging. Another famous blogger. Anyone wants to have a go at whom that might be? Even Sal didn't know that one. That is, before we push the button, anyone going to go? We got a couple of guesses coming in. Oh, Andrea wouldn't let me down. It is indeed Perez Hilton, famous blogger. I love his hotels. That was a joke, by the way. Right, I think we're the last one. We're going to go on the main thing. Spoiler alert! Spoiler alert! What's coming up next? If anyone's watching this next one, I think no. If you're halfway through the most popular show on Netflix, look away now. Put your things in your ears. Who is that? Who is that? This is again. Who is that? If you don't know, I'm not going to whisper it. I'll just put it on the screen. Ha ha! A little bit esoteric. But there we go. I mean, that'll mean something to somebody somewhere. Right. Let's crack on for the next 45 minutes. We're going to ask a few questions. Everything you wanted to know about blogging but are afraid to ask. I thank none other than Woody Allen for plagiarizing the title there. So what is a blog? Well, there we have it on the screen. I'll read it. For those of you who are ironing or out walking, a blog is a compilation of thoughts, facts, and expert opinions relating to the business, industry, or its audience. It is a written piece of information that lives online. So that is what a blog is. Words online to share. So what is the benefit of blogging, putting content online? Very simply, there's huge benefit because the businesses who publish regular content on their website are likely to receive 8 times more traffic. It's estimated that it can certainly help reduce overall marketing spend by doing it. And it is proven that you're likely to receive more leads by creating content and putting it online. So there are major benefits for blogging. Now, we're not going to cover vlogging today. We'll just cover the written word. Vlogging and video is probably for another day. Without further ado, asking yourself that question. Well, I've already answered it. There are benefits in getting traffic to your website. So why blog? Well, blogging is part of something else. It is about content marketing, the creation of content, and it is part of inbound marketing. You create content and you'll bring people to it. It is considered really that blogging is creating value for people and helps sell your products in a non-salesy way. It is not intrusive. And it's considered to be a method that sits very well in that you are giving information. So often it's considered that when people are searching online, the real issue is one of intent. So if people are asking questions online, you can answer them by blogging. And I'll take you through this. I'm going to put this up on the screen. I was going to put Wilkinson's up there, but Gillette got there by a close shave. So Gillette, even going back to the days they were blogging, it appeared in newspapers and like on Caxton Press. So talking about the benefits of using their particular product and how things, have actually moved on. But now, if you look at Gillette, their blogging, their site is full of a 1-minute read, 5 steps to a smooth shave. So the value there is in actually explaining how you can look your best. So it's a very common practice and it is time immemorial. The methodology has changed, but creating content for your customers, potential customers to read, is just using a slightly different forum. But really the key thing here, it is about creating trust. And this is the likes of Airbnb. Why guests book? What research can teach us? So they are sharing information. They consider they're building up trust in the properties and the venues to go to. Many others would use it, for providing value to customers. So this situation, companies are blogging, talk about decorating, technical accessories. It's all very much, giving information to customers. But one of the huge advantages is here, as you'll see on the screen, that it's part of search engine optimization. And this is related very much to voice search now and what we're asking of Google. So if you have a car accident, what you may well type in these words: what to do in a car accident, how to handle to do, what to do after a car accident. These are questions that you are asking of Google, and these will invariably lead you to an article or a blog. Think about your own behavior. You may not type in car accident into Google. You may actually ask it a question. and what you'd like the blog to do is to answer it. It's highly valuable. It's great for a search. You can see in the page title there and in the meta descriptions helping you along. So one of the real benefits of blogging is about the optimization. Naturally, other benefits would sit in the way that you can use it to create a database. So you're asking here, this gloss here, to encourage people to sign up to be a subscription. So by creating great content, people coming to your site, you can use it to create a database. Apple used blogging, creating demand. Slightly different, it's slightly more transactional feel to it. Again, the different products, click on those and there's a story behind them. And from a visibility and a brand building perspective, it seems at the highest level when you talk about Apple, also in Tesla. Again, it's question orientated, how track mode works. And so it's very much explaining about how something. So a lot of blogs will start with who, what, where, why, and how. It's often asking questions. So visibility is an important part of blogging. It then leads very much into the likes of influencer marketing. And here you've got, the patio style challenge. So, it's bloggers taking part in that and actually creating spaces and stuff. So again, there's inspiring images, and it's creating a forum and involving others. So again, the use of influencer marketing is an important part of blogging. American Express are using it in a different way. They're saying that you could argue ahead of their competition, asking, see the question there, 5 common cash flow management mistakes you can avoid, and they're answering those. So even at the highest level, it's gone through sort of half a dozen world famous brands who are using blogging on their website to address questions and answers with engaging material. So the question then comes into, what shall you blog about? You want to blog? I'm sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, it's Sunday morning, Andrew Mars turned off, I'm sitting there in front of my computer, what am I going to talk about? Right, so here we go. It's off a piece of paper, is it? The Simon Blogging Challenge. Get yourself a piece of paper. Have you all got one? Yeah. Actually, since lockdown, I've actually been learning to do origami. Yeah, my skills have improved tenfold. And actually, I was going to watch the World Origami Championships until I discovered it was pay-per-view. Right. Anyway, so you got your piece of paper. Yeah. Right. Fold it in half. Yeah. Done it. Okay. What next? Oh, I don't know. Let's look on the next slide. On the one side, I would encourage you, not now, a bit of homework for you, is on one side to write down the 5 most frequently asked questions about your product. And on the other side, to write down the 5 questions people you feel should be asking about your product or service. 5 questions on one side about you feel that most people ask you, 5 on the others you feel that people should be asking you, and as if by magic, you've got 10 things to blog about. Easy enough. There we go. Today's client marketing origami challenge. There we go. But seriously, well, it's a great way to do it, but I'll take you through some other little tips. For many of you will be using Google Analytics, and within Google Analytics, you can see on the screen, you could limit this and find out how often, if you have got material that's posted in blogs, how often people are looking at it. So if you've got a blog that many people are spending a lot of time looking at, or you've got many users, you can repurpose that evergreen content as well. So Google Analytics, looking carefully at each page and how many views. You can use the likes of, a good one for you, BuzzSumo, and then it can actually talk about the social media engagement relating to your particular posts as well. So there's a number of different blogs there, and you can see across all different social media platforms and the linkage. the level of engagement and where the engagement is likely to be. So 2 tips there using different technology. But if you are still struggling and you've passed on the origami challenge, how about this? Here we go. Tip of the day. 5 little tips here. Don't be cheating, but never mind. So you look on the Amazon book previews. Look at the chapter titles. So you're picking up some ideas. Always, every webinar, you know, I always end up referring to Google Trends. But again, the explore option, we're looking at your particular subject area. So even if you're doing stuff, you know, I think Jeanette's on the webinar today, and she writes some fantastic poetry and books at bedtime and things like that. And often that she uses, I know she does, uses the Google Trends to look at the titles and look what people are talking about. Again, it's for, you know, recreational reading. Again, a little tip to use. And again, the Amazon book previews. Hashtagify me. Look for variations on your topic areas in hashtag form. So again, you're looking to see what's trending on social media and what hashtags have been used. Might help you in terms of topics. And don't also forget, my favorite one is look at the Google search related at the bottom of each search page. Now, what are you talking about, Simon? What are you talking about? Well, here, just for little old me, if you type in content strategy, underneath is usually 8 other searches at the bottom of Google. So again, you're picking up. So you're typing in something. I know Kevin's on the call. He might talk about Chinese supply chains and all different things, and voiceover artists for Liz and what have you. So there's different areas to go where you can look at and pick up content. But there also are content analyzers out there. Here's a good example. Sometimes you may fall into the trap. So I'm thinking you've got employee engagement and human resources, similar things, but you can see one has got much more engagement than the other. So you may choose that you think employee engagement might be more of a topic to adhere to rather than what we used to know as human resources. So content analyzers exist. So got to that. So that's why you should blog. That is some of the little tips in topics. So how to write a blog post. I'll leave it on the screen there and look at a bit of a PowerPoint snob really here. It'll keep it on the screen. Right, how to write a blog post. First things first, think about you're not writing for yourself, you're writing for your audience. So you're defining your audience. Now, a little research, you may wish to look at some successful blogs in your industry or sector, look at the online forums, look in Facebook groups, look on Google Alerts. What are people looking for? What are people dipping into? So you've got a great way to do it. Marketing is so much easier, so much cheaper, so much quicker if you know who your audience is and what they are doing. So first things first, who you're writing for, and you've got a feel for it. Here, in terms of a fashion blog, but you've got images there, fantastic images, and then you've got a pastoral poem. So you've got an editorial relating, you know, to the fashion. So again, it dovetails in, not just with the image, but with a very clever way of talking about fashion, and again, making it very memorable. So, knowing your audience, taking a slightly calculated risk, we assumed a fashion example. And now you have to think about a topic to write about. Well, my favorite subject, eating. Oh, breathe, that's just going to breathe in at this moment in time. Right, yum. Let's talk about chocolate cookies. So, different topics. So, here in the how-to blog post is a guide that tells your readers how to do something. So, how to bake chocolate chip cookies from scratch. There is a headline which may take the biscuit. And so you're looking at a how-to guide. So again, it fits in with a question that's asked, but also is very easy to understand that people might find that actually. So topics and a how-to guide. I'm not very good at baking, you know. I have to confess, I'm not good at baking. I use a smoke alarm as a timer. So a how-to is a great way of starting. The next thing you might wish to think about in topics is having a curated list. So it's just a set of recommendations. So here you've got the top 10 chocolate chip cookie recipes. And it may form a great way in which to put your content out there, different variations. So you've got the how-to, and then you've got lists. Next thing, advice. I might need it when it comes to cooking. So tips for making chocolate chip cookies extra gooey. So again, you're helping the reader by giving advice. Next, definition based. So explaining more about the meaning of the term or topic. So here, what are non-bake chocolate chip cookies? You don't have to put them in the oven, a different methodology. So each time with all these examples, you're tackling the same issue, but from a different perspective. The how-to, the list, the definitions, you're approaching that. So you might think you wish to shoehorn these into your own content. And then we all like to know about trends. So it's what's popular at a certain time. So in this example, the best chocolate chip cookie recipes from this year. And again, you can recreate this content and update it. So you might do it for 2020, 2021, etc. So it's kind of like the Alan Freeman countdown, as it were. Not off. So top trends. Okay, 5 different headings in the topics. Now the next thing on your list, you want to refine your topic and some keyword research. And this is a derivative of what I spoke earlier. So in our chocolate chip cookie examples, in terms of doing what you actually are going to talk about, here we go. So rather than actually go to how to make chocolate chip cookies, which is a very large generic search. You may wish to fish in a slightly smaller pond where your blog is more likely to be seen. So you can see in a top 10 list there, how to make chocolate chip cookies without eggs, don't go flat, etc., etc. So when you're looking at your own content that you may wish to choose, it's to follow this. So you can start by writing a very generic keyword search and come up with titles and topics in the same way. God, making me hungry now. Write some engaging content. Well, what's up next? What's that cat doing there? So think again. I'm going to give a shout out to Jeanette, who's on. She always she taught me this. Think of your blog or your writing as a cat. Where's it gone? Where's this going? Think of it as a head, a body, and a tail. Simple stuff. So the head is very much the grabber. The body is the main content, and the tail is your conclusion. So really, you've got 3 elements to your blog. You have to grab your reader's attention. In the main body, it's where you're sharing information, and the conclusion or the tail is to share some closing thoughts. Head, body, tail. 3 key elements there. So, little tips in writing. Always give credit to sources. It's all good practice, but also gives you opportunity to set up links to them. And also to provide internal links. So if you're creating a blog and it's going to your website, one of the natural places in which to link is to other articles on your own website. But if you are going to link out to other material, please make sure it opens in a new window so people don't leave your website. It's always there, they always come back to it. 300 words is considered to be the benchmark, and I think what Google wants you to do to have authority and make good content, and to break long posts into sections. You are not writing Canterbury Tales, where it is you could argue it's impenetrable English. So make it very easy for the eye to follow by using smaller paragraphs, bullet points, and as always, the 20-word challenge. Never make your sentences more than 20 words. And using bullet points and lists. If you are creating a list of the 10 best recipes, as in our chocolate chip cookie example, bullet points are a great thing to do. They also help just in terms of making it easy for the reader. But who remembers him? Gosh, anybody on the chat line fancy remembering who he is? I don't know. Can you remember who he is? Oh, we go on. Just Sal. You can rely. If in doubt, ask Sal. Hey, don't write wacko. So the critical thing is don't write like a scholar. Write, get it, and look in your writing for the average person. I've often used the analogy, writing Daily Mirror or language. So make sure that right. So write like a scholar. Now, so here's some examples. And I think one of the key things is the picture tells 1,000 words. So there's a website here, but somebody is blogging on the website there as well with a great, interesting, engaging picture. So there's places to actually top and tail, to use a cat analogy again, about creating great pictures, and then an irresistible headline, as you can see here, an eye-catching title. We had it in the travel blog, but people are freaking out about what this superfood can do, and a really interesting image about half an orange there and coloured in a particular way. So it's very eye-catching and a very sort of interesting image. I want to click and find out more. So you are back onto the travel blogs, and here a lovely example: top hikes in Australia. Again, it's back to the listing type thing, but again, you're looking about creating a post, a really sort of interesting image. So great title, really interesting image. So where can I get my images? Well, I'd certainly encourage you. There's lots of places in which you can get free images, and I'll leave that on the screen. You will get a copy of the slides, so don't panic, Mr. Mannering. There's 7 places to go there where you can get free images. As always, I only I give a shout out to the one who pays me a commission, but no joking. But lots of places to go for stock images, but you may wish, as always, to create your own. So, someone's appeared on the chat line. Answer that one. Oh, it was a. Here's a quick. I'm going to take this question right now. Sal has asked, what are your thoughts about a section on a business website with a section to write posts, but not necessarily a blog on its own? Yeah, definitely. What I would encourage you to do is to have on your website a page which may be a news page or a blog page where you're bringing traffic into it. You may call it blog, you may call it news, you may call it something else, but it's a section within your website rather than probably a standalone page. Okay, that answers that one. Right, next up. Always have a call to action. It's one thing to give out fantastic information, but what do you want people to do? 3 CTAs, call to actions. You want people to subscribe to your mailing list, to download your book, your ebook, or sign up for something else. It's invariably the stages on a customer journey. It's not you're going to get a one hit with it. You want people to engage. So you want invariably a call to action. So 3 different ways in which to achieve a call to action. And critically is, as I mentioned earlier about SEO being a really important part of blogging, When you're writing, here are 5 tips, back to chocolate chip cookies, to make sure that it's optimized. So you want to be here, food term, sprinkling keywords within your article, but not to over egg the pudding. That was an ad-lib. But to put the keywords in there, not to have too many because you get penalized by Google. To use this exact phrase in your headline. So the actual headline is there. So to title it correctly, which we saw when we're looking for car accidents a minute ago, the URL, and you can see chocolate chip called recipes. So a URL, a description, and actually to put if you're putting any images there, to make sure that you're using the alt text for the images. Here is an example for creating alt text. So here you've got, it's a bit creepy actually, that picture, someone looking out the window taking images like that, but you can see a man taking a photo there. So you're describing in any images you put on your website what's happening. So using the alt text. So 5 tips there, not just to create the content, but to make it very keyword friendly. Keywords may not necessarily apply by putting terms in the body of the text if you're writing probably in a story, for example, or something like that, but certainly you can title it that way. But if it is a poem or something like that, it's going to be very difficult to put the keywords within that, but that's just a slight nuance. Then you have to promote the final article. And how are you going to do that? Well, you will, as Sal asked you, you'll be putting it on your website, so you may well be mentioning it on your website. One of the weaknesses I've often seen with many websites is they do not have within the blog or on any of the pages social sharing functions. They may have a link to the social media page, but not necessarily a means of sharing. So make sure you've got pages that people can instantly share by whatever means, WhatsApp or whatever. And then you may wish to create content and put it on your social media. So if you created 300 words, you may put some of those words or the first couple of paragraphs within the social media and then link to the remainder of the article. But a little tip, if you are posting your article, get away from your website or only LinkedIn or referring it, what LinkedIn wants you to do, and the algorithm they have, is not to leave LinkedIn. So if you're going to post a blog on LinkedIn, linking away from LinkedIn and encouraging people to do that is not the right way in which you're going to get a lot of meet the LinkedIn algorithm. So it's important you stay on the site. So there's no harm in posting a full blog on your website and then the same blog on LinkedIn. Little tip. You've created content, going on social media, a natural place to put it is on your Google My Business. There's an events page and a blog page within Google My Business. So put it there. You may wish to crack open the piggy bank and spend a little money with Google by using their display network so you can run a limited amount of ads. Most webinars I mentioned, Google are willing to entice you with an offer. So you use a Google display ad and you can actually link to your blog within an article that's written on with somewhere else. So again, Google display network. So what's that? Any takers for what that might be? Well, you think that is a forum. A funny thing happened on the way to the forum. Good film, that one, from the day. So you may think that a great place for promoting your blog is on a forum. And one of the most common places, a great question and answer forum, is Quora. You can answering questions and set up links within Quora. So great place to go if you ever want to ask and have questions answered. Mentioned, you may wish to involve in using influencers as well, and actually always cross-referring to those, especially if you've created those, so to make reference to them. Put it in any newsletters you're sending out. So you're sending out a newsletter to your clients, link from the newsletter to your blog. And also, apologies for the slightly blurred image. Who's to say you can't put it in an email signature? No rules at all. So some great little ways in which you can create content and how you can drag customers to it. Or you can even guest blog. Why not? How to find guest blogs? Well, here's the answer. See how it's written in the Google search bar. Right for us, inverted commas, fashion. So that is a place to go. Do you have a passion for fashion? Do you have a passion for fashion? Let me just have a wee jumper up there. So you contact us and become a guest writer. So think about hashtag inverted commas, right for us. Search on Google. You'll find some places to go and guest blog. Or on Twitter. Well, hey, I don't like Twitter. I don't want to see what people are doing on Twitter. I don't want to know. Well, hang on a second. I can't do the voices. They are guest post opportunity in inverted commas. And they're there. There's opportunities for you to take your content and to guest blog just by doing some simple Google searches and using the likes of Twitter. Wow. And 4 places that are well known for guest blogging. Medium is one I've used, but you can see the others, and you'll get a copy. BuzzFeed, etc. Places to go that want content. So, who's ever heard of AMP? Any takers on what AMP is? And the answer is on the right-hand side. So I'm going to quickly whiz over to the chat line. Does anybody know what AMP is? If in doubt, Simon might have the answer. AMP is accelerated. Oh, hang on, we have got an answer. I do apologize. I was too fast. Electric current. I don't know. It's not your fault you said that, Kevin. So AMP, accelerated, couldn't resist that. AMP, accelerated mobile pages, is used by Google to help the best search results. If you look up AMP, because it's a great way in which you might end up like this. So when you are at the top stories, it's a little algorithm within Google and a place to go so you can actually appear at highest in what is known as the carousel. Now, March the 21st. What's on March the 21st? Well, Google look at that, changing their algorithms, where mobile is going to become more and more prevalent. So if you use the likes of AMP, you can actually get yourself a foot up. So there we go. That will help you in appearing higher. I'm going to give you some quick examples of some blogs, how to monetize blogs, and then home time. So here are atypical. This is a artist. You can see he's got pictures and he's got drawing, and this is how his blog looks on the website. You are drawn in by the title and by the images there. So again, designing a poster for a shop, illustration process. And this particular individual is showing you how he draws. So it's getting away from the conventional, writing a few words. You've got to really sex it up if I can use those terms. 10 examples here with very images, different elements of a blog. There's a travel site, and again, really engaging images and titles. Here in a design scenario, the before and the after, and you can see how it appears both on a mobile website or on desktop. Again, creating a nurturing environment in your home. So again, it's topic, the image to draw people into the blog. So to conclude today's activity, we're going to See, how can we make some money from your blog? Well, how can you do it? Well, a number of different ways. First and foremost, you can get people to subscribe. It is probably the second stage. If you're creating great content, people will pay for it. So subscription is certainly a way. You may wish to find yourself a new career. If you are talented, you can become a freelance blogger. You can put yourself on those freelance sites and you can find yourself a new career if you are so engaged with this. The flip side of that, if you sit on this webinar thinking, oh my God, I can't write, I didn't get an O-level in English and all that kind of stuff, I haven't got my quill ready, well, you hire somebody to do it for you. Google AdSense. Plug coming up now, bit of a plug coming. We're going to be talking about Google products in a forthcoming webinar in 2 weeks' time. So you can, it's a reference to ABBA here, but you can make money from your blog. Google AdSense. So in effect, you get money into your kitty by actually having ads that are placed on your blog. You can also use affiliate marketing. Amazon Associates, worth checking out, again, as a means of actually generating revenue from an affiliate associated with your blog. In effect, you're getting money into your per click. So you can create great content, bring people to content, somebody sees an advert on your blog, clicks, ka-ching, which fits you around. You can also do sponsored. So you might want to think about, you may be working with a supplier, customer, who knows, influencer, so they'll pay you for the privilege. People are using ebooks. And again, it's a way in which if you are creating lots of blogs, well, they might form the basis of an ebook. And you can port, if you're going to, this is all about the written word, but what's to say you can't use it to create your own podcast and a means of that then being monetized. So you're creating great written words and it can morph and you can use that in a podcast. Which brings me to the final point of the day, which is what we'll address at a later date, that the future for many is in actually using video and creating vlogs, as I mentioned. So it's the old talking to camera, creating a YouTube channel, may not become Mrs. Hinch or Joe Wicks, but you know, the principle is there, that you can get thousands of followers and then, you know, ka-ching, YouTube will pay you for, you know, visits and for the adverts that are running it. So you may wish to start with the written word, which will help you in so many different ways, depending so much on your market and your sector. But there you've also got the podcasts and the video. And that is for another day, to go talk about blogs and talk about vlogs. And so, without further ado, I promised you 3/4 of an hour, and 3/4 of an hour have passed. I'd like to thank you for attending today's All About Blogging. What happens next? Well, you get a copy of the recording, which will be hosted on my YouTube channel. You'll get a copy of the slides, and you'll get an invitation. If you feel like you'd like to spend next Tuesday learning about 20 things in how to market your business, you will find me there. So thank you very much. I'm now going to stop the sharing. I'm going to have a little drink. I'm going to see if there's any questions. I'm going to, what's going on? So any questions? Here we go. So Sal's had to go. Oh, that's nice, wasn't it? Andrea, I do like, you know, the jokes were fab. You know, hang on a second. We've just got a bit of, don't normally get praise. I'm brought tear to me. Thank you, Andrea. You can come back again. Well, the most important, if you've enjoyed it, had a laugh, and learned something, success. Right. Any other questions before we hang up our boots? Let's have a little look. No? Yes? No? If not, well, if not, I bid you a fond farewell. I can recommend Bridgerton. And if you, always a pleasure. So just to repeat, we're back next. We're here every. We've got nothing else to do on a Tuesday. We're back here on behalf of the Humber Growth Hub every Tuesday at 2 o'clock to share a little happiness. And we'll see you next time. But I said you'll get my quill out and I'll write to you. And if you want any help, it's all part of the service. So without further ado, I bid you adieu until next time.